Hello and welcome back to my second video on DIY kit building. This particular video will focus on the insertion process of components. So this is a really simple kit that I found on Amazon. So it doesn't have any instructions. I basically need to match components to the pictures and get them in there. We always start with the smallest components first, which are usually small ceramic capacitors, or in this case, resistors. And so the resistors are the small guys here. They're going to go into the kit first. You start with the small guys on the PCB, and you eventually build to the biggest. So the last things I'm going to be putting in are probably the battery compartment leads, and the larger electrolytic capacitor, and this particular condenser microphone here. Well, we're going to start with the little guys first. I know in the previous video we sorted and we measured all the components. I always measure 2 or 3 times in the process so I don't make any mistake. I'll start with this 10K resistor here. I'll pull it out. I'm going to measure it again just to make sure I didn't make any mistakes. I say measure everything 2 or 3 times because it is so much harder to solve problems after the fact. And so this does say 9,932 ohms. Now I'm going to find the 10K spot on this circuit board. It's right there, 10K. It's kind of probably hard. Let me zoom in the camera a little bit. And we're going to hit the focus button here. And there we go. You can see clearly now, probably on camera, that where the 10K resistor goes at the top. Now, resistors need to be bent at right angles. And you can actually get a real true resistor bender here if you want, but you don't have to. You can bend this pretty much around any tool, but I'm going to make, a right angle bend. This resistor already had a couple kinks in it, but you can kind of see I've bent it as a right angle. And now I can put it in to the PCB. And on the back side of the PCB, I can bend out the leads a little bit. Sorry, it's kind of out of focus. Let's see what we can do. If we can make this a little bit more in focus. Come on, camera. Come on, friend. There you go. And I can bend these leads out, and they will hold them in place, sort of like that. If you have a kit that has lots and lots and lots of resistors, I will try to lay them out in such a way that their color codes match across the board. It makes troubleshooting easier later on, but in the case of this kit, it's not a big deal. Let's do the other 2 resistors. This is supposedly the 1 mega ohm resistor. So again, I'm going to confirm it. On the previous video, I made a couple boo-boos there measuring this one, so I definitely want to make sure I don't make any mistakes in putting the wrong resistor into the board. And so I'm testing, and it says 1000K. 1,000 thousands is a million. So I know that this is a mega ohm. This one got a little twisted and messed earlier, so I'm going to kind of try to reset the leads straight. And let's find the mega ohm resistor position. It is right there, R2, 1 meg. So again, I'm going to put it through the holes and bend the leads back. Now, while I'm here, I do want to mention that sometimes, depending on the kit, I will need to put tape on the back to hold the components into place. Some components have small legs or they wobble. And in those particular situations, it makes sense for me to tape them down. What I'll do is, let me show you. I will put tape down on this side to hold them in place, so when I solder them down, they don't jiggle out of place. In this particular build, with resistors, it's not really necessary, but with caps, sometimes you have to do it that way to keep them from falling into the wrong locations. This is the 3rd resistor of the build. This is a 4.7K. And again, I apologize for sliding off the video. I'm going to measure it. And let's see if I can get that. There it is, 4,615 ohms. I think that counts as 4,700. The measurements aren't usually precise. Depends on the value of the quality of the component, which in this particular kit is not very high. So thank you, multimeter, for telling me you're going to sleep. And I'm going to put this on the 4.7K slot. Now, every kit has slightly different instructions. Sometimes they won't be labeled for what they are, and that's a little harder for you. But in this particular PCB, there are only 3 resistors on it. And if you feel like they're jiggling, find some tape. But if not, you are ready to be ready to solder. And I am going to put the tape down. I do feel like they're jiggling a little bit. And I like my solder joints to look really pretty when I'm done, so I am going to put the tape on it. And I am all ready to solder, which I will do in a second in another video. Thank you!